Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to this holy circle of light, the light of infinite being that's so easily recognizable, the light of love within all of us that we share, the only thing that's shareable, light. And to look with Jesus so gently in this circle together with the power that we have as divine being. To thank Jesus so very dearly for bringing us together in this way, to look so easily at these things and to see the power we have. I was reminded, Renee was reminding me about the last unanswered question. And so I've really been looking at that with Jesus very deeply. And that whole chapter starts with the belief in powerlessness. So it really feels good to look very deeply together and at the desire for an experience of powerlessness. Jesus said that would be the world, to feel powerless. So first of all, is the divine being, this light, powerless? Can we find a place in infinite light that's powerless? So we can hear that voice and recognize that may not sound like a voice, it's just kind of a knowing that there's something here that's infinite. It's not the power of the world that it recognizes. See, the power of the world is kind of like that grab, more than, less than. We can see how infinite light just is. It's just is, it's not efforting power. And we can ask with the honesty of God for the assistance of this light within us to tell us, is there a desire below the level of awareness to experience powerlessness? And just ask to be shown. Just simply, it's like, all right, Jesus, show me any area, any energetic investment in feeling small and powerless. The wanting of powerless. And if he says yes, we just admit it. Okay, I see it. Show it to me fully. So that he just brings that, the desire for a powerless experience up really right in front. That's the experience here with him. Just really stay with him and go, okay, I can see you're telling me yes to powerlessness. And just stay with it until it goes, oh yeah, I get it. Like I get that itch for powerlessness. I get it. This is how simple this looking is really that he's giving now. It's just like, okay. And then I'll ask him, okay, I see it. Do I need to go any further with that? Sometimes he says no. Okay, do I need to look deeper? Is there something else around powerlessness for you to show me? And so I'm just really present with Jesus and let him just reveal any kind of itch for powerlessness. Is there anything else to see here? And just can let that energy of that suppressed energy that makes the illusion of powerless, it dissipates in the light of divine being. In the light of divine being is powerlessness possible. We just put that feeling or that thought of powerlessness in the light of divine being. Can we find anything there? Yet first he must be willing to perceive a world where it is not. Before that, he says, could he admit that no one made him powerless? So the whole world is that something outside of us makes us feel powerless. So Jesus, is there any desire for an experience as though someone outside of me or something is making me powerless? Are there any diversionary, powerless plays going on here in consciousness I can look at so directly with you? He says, whenever you don't follow me. He said, that's a powerless play. We can't escape that guidance at all. Okay. Okay. Yes. Not following the Holy Spirit is the powerless play. Is the play of siding with powerlessness. Okay. With our idea of a personal identity. Reason would surely bid him to seek no longer what is not there to find. Okay, I understand. I'm getting that. It's beyond reason to have these desires below our awareness when we see that the light's here. It's insane. Yet we still look. Yet first he must be willing to perceive a world where it is not. It is not necessary that he can understand how he can see it, nor should he try. For what if he focuses on what he cannot understand, he will emphasize his helplessness. I know that's why he tells me, you have a habit, or he did tell me, is telling me for a while, you have a habit of focusing on what's not happening. Like the whole world is to focus like on, how is this happening? Why is this happening? I don't understand. How could there can be an ego? See, does the light go, I don't understand why? Does the light do that? See, that's the drill down more into helplessness. He's saying it right here. That's a good question to ask him. Jesus, is there any desire for an experience of focusing on what, the helplessness and what I can't understand, the whys and the wherefores and the what ifs? Is there any desire for that? As he's reminding me again, those type of questions are always trying to make us feel uncertainty about our identity. Because as we look in the light of divine being, is the light of divine being looking in there and finding a why or a wherefore, or ask any questions, or ever feeling uncertain as the light of divine being? Can we see that? Is it uncertain about anything? Does it know what uncertainty is? And let sin tell him that his enemy must be himself. Yet this admission, right, that we're doing this is the turn. The full acceptance is, Jesus, is there any desire not to accept? This is fully my choice. I'm willing to see it. And then if you see it, we just ask them help. Okay, I see it. I don't want this to be my choice. That's the big gig, right? Not wanting to have the power to look at this directly. That's the gig. Like, no, I don't want to look at it directly. Oh, there's resistance coming up. That's why it's so helpful to have mighties that have kind of walked the fire, because there can be reflections in our mind that see these plays, right? And can help remind us, no, that's a play in consciousness. Look deeper. Like they're not going to be twisting in the wind, you know, when these little whatevers rise up. They're going to be with you going, no, look directly. You can do it. You know, that kind of cheering section, which we need because of all the fear that we've miscreated and to make us not look. But let him only ask himself these questions, which he must decide to have it done for him. Now, the first question is, do I desire a world I rule instead of the one that rules me? Now, on the surface, we might hear, oh, of course I want to rule the world. I mean, wouldn't we be insane if that's like what's offered, not to rule the world? That would be insane. Yet, if we look directly, we can do it this way, that Jesus was showing me and then showing Kevin the real opportunity, look deeply to see where the desire was for a world that rules me. Is there a desire anywhere in the subconscious mind for an experience of a world that rules me? And see what the light says about that. If the light says yes, you're slapping. Okay, so let's take a minute and listen to that light. Tell us if there's anything in there. And then I just really go deep with Jesus. Okay, and if it's there, then I ask them. I just keep going levels with them. It's very helpful because all the energy starts moving, coming up. Like I say, you might feel like steam's rising, but just be just see that it's not anything. Okay, do I desire a feeling of a world that rules me? Checking in again. Make sure that's a big one. A desire to feel ruled by the world. Whew, smoke. That wanting, that itch. Jesus, any more in there? If he says yes, then we just go, okay, and we let it clear. And then I ask him again, okay, Jesus, is there anything else I need to see here on this, the world ruling me? So I can look at it again as deep as he's going to go. I let him just take me all the way. Is there anything more? And is it okay to look? And I ask his, because he knows where those bones are buried down in there. So we just listen. Okay. And I just keep asking until he finally says, I ask him, is this clear? Trying to have a world. Letting that itch to be ruled by the world rise up to be seen so directly in the light with him. See, it has to be our willingness to allow it to come to up fully expressed, so it's not pushed down anymore. He can show us where it is, but we have to have the willingness to just fully let it right here. Do I desire a world I rule instead of one that rules me? Is there any more of that, Jesus? Because then we can ask, see, once those energies are clear, this is where the acid test, the acid test is, do I desire a world I rule instead of the one that rules me? See, then we can be honest about saying yes. See, as long as those desires are below our level of awareness to be ruled by the world, how can we say yes to this question? And we want to go bing, 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 all the way down all four of these questions and get cleared by the one who knows. We want the, yeah, we want to be clean slate. Clean slate on the, do I desire a world I rule instead of the one that rules me? So Jesus, can I honestly say that that's my desire now? If he says no, okay, more work to do with him. Do I desire a world I rule instead of the one that rules me? These are deep clues of where the bones are buried. So if there's more work, you can either repeat this video or just work with Jesus directly, because we can all hear him, right? We're listening to the light, that voice for light that tells us. This would be a really good thing for a retreat, to drill deep with on. Okay. Now, so here's number 2. Look at Jesus. And before we go, just check in with them and say, Jesus, is it worth it to come back and look at this first one with you later? Or is it cleared? Is it fully cleared? Or there's some more looking at that desire for an experience of being ruled by the world rather than the ruler? This is how honesty of God is so helpful, right? Because we can go directly to the denial and look at it with the divine light and just see there's nothing to, does the divine light see? If we say, yes, I want to be ruled by the world, does the divine light doesn't have any challenge with that. We can see it. Divine light's not making a judgment one way or the other. And we're not making a judgment one way or other about anyone else wanting to be desired to be ruled by the world, because the salvation is here. And then we see that no one's ruled by the world. There isn't anyone out there to be ruled by the world. Does the light see anyone out there to be ruled by this world? Infinite light? It's a good question. Does the light rule? In the experience, direct experience, is light being, does the light rule all? So if that's where that means we rule all, unless we say, no, I want an experience of being ruled by the world. And even if we want to be ruled by the world, let's look at that. In the light of divine being, it is even possible for us to be ruled by the world. Let's look at that. Is the light going, I feel ruled by the world? You start to see how insane it is. Okay, step number 1. Woo-hoo. The first one, a 4. If this is the last unanswered question, I want to be able to answer it yes without any little niggling under little, little creepy crawlers under there. So so I'm going all the way with Jesus on this one, with all of this power that's here on my brother. Okay, so step 2. Do I desire a world where I am powerful instead of helpless? So let's see what Jesus says. Do I? He says no. Then we go, okay, so show me the desire to be helpless instead of powerful. Jesus, is there a desire to have an experience of being helpless rather than powerful? And we just see what he says, okay? He says yes. This is the gateway to infinite happiness right here, because we're seeing that helpless play. I am not helpless. We're not helpless. We're infinite light beings. Okay, so do I desire a world I'm powerful, helpless instead of powerful? Okay, so will you show me helpless, desire for helpless rather than powerful? I think that desire. Okay, and then I just ask them, is there anything else here to look at? Helpless, any Any desire for helplessness. If he goes, yes, then I go again. Okay, show me that. And just admit it. All right, there's that energy of wanting to be helpless. Now I just ask him, is it complete, or do I keep going? And then I hear, we listen. And then he says, no, you're toasted for now. It's to start to get so happy because that little compressed, the little hell energies, the desire for hell. Okay. And things get funnier. Okay. So that's okay. Now we're on number 3 out of 4. Okay. Do I desire? Okay. No, we'll check in on this question. Do I desire a world where I am powerful instead of helpless? Jesus, is there any hesitancy around that? And he tells us yes or no. And if he tells us yes, there's hesitancy, then we need to look again with him. That's all it is. We're so afraid to look, but this is all it is right here. Do I desire a world where I am powerful instead of helpless? Are there any doubts that I desire a world where I'm powerful instead of helpless? See, he tells you direct, yes, no, yes, no. We can hear that. Okay. So now we can move on to number 3. Or take notes on the ones that you feel like you want to go back to with Jesus so he can help us. And we ask him, this is what's so awesome. Listen, so in the live divine being, Jesus, will you help me see through every one of these and hear what the light says? Like, Will you help me see through every single one of these? With willingness, he's going to help us look at these directly. Okay, so here we go. Number 3, do I desire a world in which I have no enemies and cannot sin? If you feel any yank in the heart, we'll look at each one. Okay, so that means I desire to experience enemies. So let's look at that itch for enemies right there, that experience of enemies. Okay, Jesus, will you show me that desire? Because I hear a yes there, so it must be somewhere in there. A desire for a world of experiencing enemies. Okay, is there anything else to look at here around desiring an experience of enemies? We have to really trust him because he may come back around, he's going to take us as far as it's, he knows. Where I have enemies, a desire for an experience of enemies. Okay, and if it feels complete, and we'll go to the second part. Do I desire a world, an experience of a world in which I can sin? If it says yes, we just look at the energy of it. Okay, show me exactly where that desire is in consciousness, below my level of awareness. Desire for an experience of sin. Okay. Gets to be just a yawn, really. See it? Just say, Jesus, okay. Do I need to go any more with that at this moment? You may say yes or no. Any more on sin? Is the coast clear? Have I seen through it in the light? Is it fully in awareness with you? See, it's not held below. I think we'll sleep a lot better without the with that desire for sin. It's sin, the experience of sin. Okay, the attraction to sin, obviously. Okay, so now we can go back and answer this sentence with him to see if we need more work in here. Do I desire a world in which I have no enemies and cannot sin? Where we can truly answer, yes, I desire a world in which I have no enemies and cannot sin. And if there's any little hiccup or hesitancy, that's just spend more time with the one who knows. That's it. Or are we complete from now? So I'm hearing, okay, complete for now. Complete looking. Now, the big kahuna question, number 4. And do I want to see what I denied because it is the truth? This is the complete turn into infinite power, acceptance of infinite power right here. I know he's telling me today, this is what this center is devoted to. It's this answering this, the willingness to answer this last question. And these light circles, right? It's for the ones who really want to come and they're willing to answer this question. Do I want to see what I denied because it is the truth? Because can we see instantaneously that the light is here? And in our direct experience is the light truth. Is there anything other than the light? Is truth know anything other than infinite, unchanging light? So do I want to see what I denied? And then hear what he says. Do I want, if he says no, or if there's any no, then we just work with him on that right there, you know, because sometimes it comes, no, it's a big no. That's the whole gig. Not wanting to see that we're denying the light. But can it stand in the light of divine being, like the direct looking at it, like, you know, directly saying, Jesus, show me the desire not to see what I've denied. Is there any desire not to see what I denied? Okay, if he says yes, all right. He said, okay. It's like, all right. I admit it. You know, okay, you got me out, Jesus. Hand in the cookie jar of desire. Okay. Okay, so it's light, you know, it's not. Is Jesus coming in here and batting us over the head for having our hand in the denial cookie jar? No. All right. And we kind of like that play of having our hand in the cookie jar of denial. Okay, but we're done with that now. So we're just going to look so directly with it. Okay. Do I want to see? Okay, show me where I do not want to see what I denied. It's that energy of, oh, I don't want to see it. If that's there, it may not. For some being, do I need to look at this? And he might tell you yes, like right here saying no, but. But if he says yes, then you just go with him another level, you know. Just show me the denial, the desire to deny, of not wanting to see. See, that's the gig. The direct is seeing the not, oh, I don't want to see that kind of thing. I don't want to see this. That's what we want to look directly at, that thing right there. Not wanting to look. Okay. That's what we're looking at directly. Not wanting to see the truth. Oh, I don't want to see it. Let them show it. And see how long it lasts in the light of divine being. As Renee and I we talked about this morning too, it's helpful for me to remember. It's the divine handshake. It's where the denial meets the light. And see which one lasts. Even if we want that denial, even if we don't want to see the truth, like we don't want to see it because it's below our level of awareness, and we need Jesus to show us where, oh, I don't want it. Then we look back at the light and go, wait a minute. It's like, even if I don't want the light, even if I don't want to see the light, it's still here. Even if I'm scared to see it, wait a minute, it's still here. I can't get away from this light thing, no matter what I do. It's just that we know the light's here, and we're just going to suffer if we don't look at the denials, because the denials are the attraction to the suffering. We're like pulling that suffering in like a magnet. Give me more of that suffering, that addiction to suffering, unless we look directly. Do I want to see what I denied? And just here, if the word is no, and if it might be kinda, I kind of want to see what, kind of want to, but not real. Then we're in honesty of God, you know, at that point going, I kind of want to know, but not really. But still, at least that's why he's so helpful, that the infinite light is so helpful, because in Jesus, because we can't outrun divine light, you know, in terms of honesty, self-honesty, because we're so used to deluding ourselves. So he's going to put having that conversation with divine light. Jesus, do I want this last sentence? And do I want to see what I denied because it is the truth? And if the answer is no, in honesty of God, at least we can see it's no, because there's a lot of, you know, looking at a sentence like this, of course I do, of course I want to see, but that's a denial of the denial. A denial that we're denying. So let's look at that. Do I want to see what I denied? And if the answer is no, okay, Jesus, I'm willing to look at the denial that I don't want to see what I denied. At least we're honest about it. Don't want to see the truth, really. And then at least we're looking at the big no right there in the right square on. In truth, do I want to admit that I'm pure infinite light? If the no comes, go, okay, show me where the denial, where is it that I'm not wanting to see that all there is light? And we can ask, I asked him, I said, Jesus, and we can ask in the infinite light of being, is this an effective use of time? Is this a powerful use of time for the spirit to spend this kind of time with spirit, looking so directly at the desire to deny, the wanting, you know, oh, I want to deny it. Because like once we see it, we see where all the power is, that we're denying ourselves infinite light without anything actually happening, because then we look again and go, is the light still here? It's okay to look at it. Here's how the ego works. It's okay to look at that light for a little while, but don't want to be that on a full-time basis, do we? I want to go play in consciousness. As I said this morning, light circle, and I feel it here. This is the Supreme Happiness Club right here. This is the club that is not willing to settle for little dribs and drabs of happiness, little glimpses of happiness. This is the club for coming together to go, yeah, we're holding hands until we're like jumping with the joy of infinite being 24/7 We're lit up like the light bulbs that we are, expressing full divine being. And to see that there's no fear, the light, that fear does not come from the light to look. And that the light's holding no grievances that we played in consciousness this long. Can we find a grievance, the light going, or what? I don't know. My dad used to have some signal on us doing something wrong. I can't even remember it anymore. Isn't that wonderful? The light doesn't see us doing anything wrong. The light sees us as innocent. We just need to see ourselves as innocent and that we're not helpless, and to really work with Jesus with any, see, I love saying this so I can remind myself, any idea of helplessness and powerlessness and disempowering ourselves. It was a program, Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within. Well, this is like a whole different kind, Unleash the Power Within. Yeah. I mean, that was helpful because it pointed toward love. Part of the power that they're pointing to is unleashing love, but it's not mistaken for make a better ego. You know, the ego part out of it, unleash the power to do a better job as an ego. No, we're just unleashing that, all that trapped energy, the asteroid belt, that every time some divine expression opportunity comes, we go, oh, can't do that because, you know, I'm not powerful, I'm not good enough, I'm not, all the I'm nots. And we're saying, why not? Jesus says, I can do everything he asks. Of course, because we rule the world. Who's ruling it? Is the light saying I'm powerless? I can't rule the world? It's not the ruler of like a kingdom of the world, of course. Is the light going, sitting on a throne up there going, the light just is. But it just sees that it's not impacted by squat on this world. Nothing, nada. And I can hear Jesus saying, I will take care of everything for you so that the time well spent with me. So you can spend time with me. Oh, that's glorious. I'm loving that. He was saying that this morning. He's saying it again. I'm going to take care of everything that you asked me to take care of, all the minutiae and everything, just so you can spend time with me looking at the denials. Now, what's a better deal than that? So, because he knows how to use it most effectively, and minutia is not a good use of time. He told Helen that. Okay, Jesus, so keep showing me how you can take over the minutia. The thing about it is we like to get our sticky fingers in that minutia. So it's learning worthiness and asking him, am I to spend time on this minutia, and let him listen when he says no. That's the other thing. We have to listen and really trust him when he says no. Your function is not minutia. You're a divine being. Your function's infinite light. Your function is to look at the denials of divinity as there is not any other better use of time than to look directly with him at denials of divinity, as I've meant, you know, and just like the core pieces of the course. Listen, follow him. Do only that, follow him, look with him, and marinate as divine light. Those three things. That would be the Trinity. The Course in Miracles Trinity. Those three things. And I thank you, Jesus, for it, reminding me all the way. There's all the way to divine power granted by the Father, and only this for us. Amen. Love you.